Hello, CI3400 students. My name is Dr. Marks and I'll be your instructor this semester. I want to just go over our As You Learn site so that you know where to find everything and what you'll need to do before class starts. So this is our site, and I'm teaching two sections of CI3400 this semester, and so I have both sections put together in a meta course. So if you're in section 102, you'll notice that up here you'll see a lot of this 101. Just ignore that. You're in the right place. I just have you all sort of put together in one course. It makes it a little easier for me to do grading and announcements and all that stuff. Make sure that you go through our book, the course orientation book. You'll notice over here that these are the chapters. So we talk about what are the course objectives, how does it align to North Carolina professional teaching standards, what are my expectations for you, what are the assignments, what's the grading policy, and then legalities. These are all chapters. All you have to do is just tap on it. It makes it a little easier to organize. The course syllabus is here. It will download as a document. A lot of what's in the syllabus is in the orientation. It's just so you don't have to scroll through everything. I think that this course schedule is also incredibly helpful for students. This class can be a little confusing because it's sort of a hybrid. We meet face-to-face and then you have some online stuff to do. So let's look at the schedule here. You'll notice we meet on Mondays and Wednesdays. And so this is the week of the 17th. And it's going to be all about mastery learning. These are the readings that you'll need to do. And then F2F means face-to-face, which means I will see you in class. So I'll see you Monday and I'll see you Wednesday in class. And you'll have response form number 1 done. And we'll talk about that in a second. If you look down a little ways on our schedule here, you'll notice that there's some dates that are highlighted in yellow. These are the dates that I have sort of scheduled for project work days. That means you'll come with all your resources, your laptop, whatever you need to work on your project. I'd like to give you some time in class to work on your project because you might be meeting in groups, or you need to ask some questions and need some help from me. So it's a really great time to get one-on-one help. You'll notice also that there are some weeks that are highlighted in blue. Those are the weeks that we won't meet at all. They're online. And each of those weeks you'll have an online module due, and we'll talk more about this in class. And then there are some weeks where we'll meet online and face-to-face. So you have to really watch the schedule. You'll notice here that on the 28th, and again here on the 24th, 31st, Monday, you're going to work on your own. It's plenty of work to do in this class, so I'd like to give you some time to do it outside of class. And then we'll meet on Wednesday face-to-face. So this is probably a really important document that you print out or that you start marking your calendar or whatever you need to do to make sure that you show up to class when it's face-to-face and that you don't show up when it's online. You'll see we'll sort of fall into a pattern after a while and it'll make sense to you. Okay? And I'll remind you also, so don't worry about that. You'll also notice that your assignments are due sort of on a schedule. It's real consistent, and I find that it's easier that way so that you can sort of get into the routine of things. So for this class, Monday evening at 11:55 p.m., you'll post your first discussion forum. Then by Wednesday, you'll respond to 2 friends in your group. I'll have you all divided into groups, and you only need to respond to 2. If you are doing an online module week, one of those blue highlighted weeks, the online module's due Friday by 11:55. And then all parts of your projects, you'll have 2 projects in this class, a CBA and an ASL. Those will be due Saturday by 11:55. And then your final CBA and ASL projects are due up on TK20 for like official notice on Friday, December 4th at 11:55 p.m. So every week It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Okay? You may or may not have Friday depending if you have an online module or not. So you'll know it's every Monday night you'll have posted by, every Wednesday you'll reply by, and any parts for your projects are due Saturday. Okay? Now, one way that I help you to stay organized is through the lesson book here. Again, I like to avoid the scroll of death on As You Learn. So I've put all of our topics into a book. And you can see each of these topics is for one of the weeks that we meet. So you'll have to pay attention because it's for both classes, Monday and Wednesday. So when we meet on the 17th, you'll already have to have a couple of things done. You'll have to read Mastery Learning and Learning to Love Assessment, which are 2 articles that I have linked for you, so that makes it very easy. We'll meet face-to-face both days. There's no project due. Project parts, we haven't even discussed those yet. And then your response, which really should be due Monday night, I'm giving you an extra day because it's the first day of class, so it's not really due until Tuesday. But you want to make sure you get started reading right away. And then you just move on to the next week. You want to make sure that you order our text. I have Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 as PDFs for you, just in case it's taking you a little while to get the text, but make sure you order it right away. And you're saying to yourself, what text do we need? Again, all of that can be found in the orientation. Okay. Assignments and materials. Talks about the textbook. And a little bit of everything else there. Okay. So make sure you go through all of these documents, and we'll go over a little bit of it in class, but not a lot of it. If for some reason the links aren't working for the readings, you can always click the folder directly, and there are all your readings there. Okay? Now, when you do your discussion group response, you will make sure that you click on it, and at the top of it you will see the directions for that response. Okay, now I don't have any of the groups in yet because we haven't started classes yet, so I'm not going to be able to click on any of those. But as soon as you click on the response, you'll see this one is about Mastery Learning, and then here's your directions. Discuss your experiences with Mastery Learning as a student or a teacher. If you haven't had any experiences with Mastery Learning, discuss your thoughts or feelings about it from the reading. Okay, so that's just what you'll do. Now, there's no amount of response. There's no number of words. There's no page length. Sometimes you'll have a lot to say about the topic, and sometimes you won't have a lot to say about the topic. I want you to address the question, and I want you to give examples from your own experiences. And I want you to connect those to the reading. So that's really what this is about. Then, once everybody has responded, you'll go back and reply to 2 people in your group. Those replies should also be a way that you move the discussion forward. It might be that you notice something in their post that really resonates with you and you want to talk about an experience you had, or they say something that you have a question about. So that's what I'm really looking for. I'm looking for real authentic discussion here. So no, there's no word count, nothing like that, but I am looking for good discussions. And then your online modules. Remember, there'll be 5 of these throughout the semester. And your module resources are in the folder here. So the first one is all about clear targets. These are your directions, and you can just follow them straight down. So the first thing you're going to do is watch this video, kids talking about learning targets. And then here we go, number 1. I want you to define learning target and answer, how are clear targets related to assessment for and of learning? And then I want you to talk about the different types of learning targets. making learning targets clear to students and parents, and then student-friendly learning targets. So make sure you read the directions here. Now I'm going to tell you this, and I know professors say this all the time. You have to do the reading first. I've designed all of these myself, and all of these reflect your readings. If you open one of these online modules and it doesn't make any sense to you, then you obviously did not do the reading or you're on the wrong module. Okay? So make sure if you're doing module number 1, you only do module number 1. Module number 2 is for another time. Okay? You can see how these topics are all aligned with the topics from the lesson book. So just make sure it should make sense to you if you do all your reading first, and then you do your post, and if you have an online activity, you do that for Friday. See how it sort of goes in an order? Everything should make sense. If you try to do your online module first without doing your readings, you're going to be very confused. The same thing with your project. Your project's parts are linked to that reading. So do your reading first. Okay? You also have some project resources here. You'll be signing this project revision procedure agreement. Your first project, the CBA, I have some examples for you. These are the directions, the rubric, how I'm going to grade it, and then the template which you will use. It's really helpful. So make sure you use the template to create your project. The same thing for project 2, the ASL. There are data sets you'll need to analyze. There's a template, directions, and a rubric. Now you'll notice there are no examples here, and that's because this is not something that you're creating yourself like the CBA. These are set data sets that you'll be analyzing. So if I had examples, that would be sort of the answers. So there are no examples here. However, we will discuss this in class and it will be very clear to you, so not to worry. And I think that's about all for before class starts. And we'll talk about some of this in class as well. Just make sure that when you come to class, you have gone over the course orientation, you've printed out the schedule, and that you've completed topic 1. Okay? So I want you to do the reading, and then Tuesday responses are due. And we'll talk about this more in class too. Okay? So I look forward to seeing you in class.